I choke under pressure. Collapse. Hey guys, Pat and Miles from SHOTTY. Today we're going to talk to someone very special. DJ Mochi. He did the remix for our song I Want to Get to Know You. Let's dive into his brain and figure out what he's all about. Alright, let's give him a quick video chat call.
Oh, and it's DJ Mochi.
So what do you have to say, DJ Mochi? You look really squishy today. Oh, did we get the... Hold on. I think we got the wrong Mochi. Hold on, let's...
Jeff, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Cool.
Dude, it's so good to see you, man.
Yeah. How are things going with you guys? Like, with the band and life and everything?
Yeah. I don't know. Are we being interviewed by you?
Oh, no. Things are going well. You know, music.
I mean,
never
like,
ends.
ever since lockdown started, it's like all we do is be at home, go play music in the afternoon, come back home. I haven't hung out with anybody in a year.
I know. It's super weird. Like I guess I'm kind of lucky that, like, my job, I have to be there in person. I get some more social interaction than I would otherwise, but outside of that, it's just like, I'm just sitting around here, you know?
So, you're in Anchorage, right?
Yeah.
Like, why'd you go to Anchorage?
I don't really know. I got a job offer up here, and I was like, sure, let's try it out. Let's see what's up with Anchorage.
A job doing what?
In medical physics, like specifically in radiation oncology, so I'm doing stuff with radiation and all the equipment and safety issues and around that, and so like anything that, you know, science could be applied to, which is a lot of stuff in there, trying to fix computers and printers. I'm like, you know, when someone has a problem, they usually call me.
There's probably some scientific tools that you must be like extremely knowledgeable on.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I just happened to get a job with these people up here. Same company I was working for in Seattle.
That's cool. I always want to go to Alaska.
Yo, you should come visit.
To the camera, because we're making a video. I've known Jeff since like elementary school.
Oh yeah. I remember we used to walk that one route through the field to like get to junior high and stuff. And
I told Pat I wouldn't go on like a nostalgia trip. Like, dude, Jeff, remember that one time I got in here?
Yeah.
Cool, you guys. Oh, were you on Fenn Hill too?
Fenn
Dude,
Hill,
he's
yeah.
right by Sandburg.
Oh, cool. We're
We're
in the
like
same neighborhood.
his first house and the second house were like the same distance from Sandburg, our elementary school.
Just
Like,
on the other
he
side of the
literally
school.
moved less than a mile, like less than a half a mile.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a good pitcher could probably throw a rock from one house to the other, you know?
Yeah, and we might have tried.
Were you born at Evergreen Hospital?
I was, yeah.
All three of
that
us
makes
born
three
in
of
the
us.
same hospital.
When I was working for this company like a few years ago, I helped like install some equipment there at Evergreen Hospital, which was like a super trippy experience. It's like I was born here and now I'm doing work. Like what?
I have some questions for you.
Yeah, let's get to like music talk.
How did you get into making music?
I'm sure Miles told you that like him and I were in a band like way back when. I mean, a band. You know, we were just like playing in my garage, messing around and, you know, making songs or whatever. I've always been a little bit interested in like just doodling on the piano, and sometimes I'd write it down or, you know, try to make something of it. And then we started getting into garage band, all these kind of things. So it's always been a little bit of a part of my life, just kind of always. I you know, when I went to undergrad, I like applied for music composition and physics, and I got into both of those. And so I was like, oh cool, I'll just do them both. And then like that wasn't gonna work, so I had to make a choice, and ended up deciding to go with physics and kind of just keep music as a hobby. I kind of got into electronic music production like 8 years ago now. I was in Germany at the time, and I was just doing an internship out there, and I didn't really know what it was or anything, but someone told me about this, you know, Ableton, so I started messing around with it, and then, you know, just kind of kept puttering, kept turning the wheels on Ableton for years and years and years, you know, trying to do remixes and making original stuff and playing with sounds. And during some of that time I was really into like certain types of electronic music, and almost exclusively that was what I listened to for a little while. Now I kind of, you know, listen to a lot of different things. It's always been kind of something I've been working on in the background through whatever else I've been doing in my life.
In Germany? Wow.
Yeah. You know, there's a huge like electronic scene there. Tons of like house music and techno music that's like really just some of the cream of the crop, if you will.
Dude, I just want to go to like a German underground, like literally underground, just a hardcore rave of some sort. Some sort of
Yeah, definitely do it. Definitely do it. It's super fun.
You said you play piano. What other instruments do you play?
I sort of play guitar and bass a little bit. I'm not.
At our first jam session,
Yeah.
Jeff was on guitar. Jeff was
nice.
like guitar.
Yeah. So that was my like main instrument then. So I can play a little bit of that, but really my main thing is piano. I sung in choirs for a while too, so I do sing, but not so much on any of my own stuff yet. I actually got a mic recently. I'm thinking about starting to incorporate some vocals into stuff.
You can record vocals and mess it up so much.
Oh yeah.
So when you do a remix, we approached you asking if you wanted to do a remix of our song. What is your approach to doing something like that?
It's pretty different a lot of the time. I guess sort of there's a general theme to it, which is like I'll sit down and like listen to each of the stems. Okay, what does this sound like? What does this sound like? And then just first to see, is there anything that pops in my head like, boom, okay, there's an idea, And sometimes that'll happen. I'll listen to a stem and I'm like immediately like, okay, I know what I want to do with this. And sometimes it's like a lot more churning and kind of just like, I'll just take little snippets of things and move them around and mess with them and see kind of, is anything popping out? Is anything kind of forming in my brain? But actually with this one, I tried something a little different. I never listened to the original song until I was done with my remix. I just took the vocals and I listened to the vocals and thought, okay, what do I think would go with this?
What is the chorus? Hopefully it's obvious enough. But like,
Yeah, right, exactly. So there was a couple times where like I wasn't sure like where the measure started. I was like, to start here. I was like, I don't know I eventually figured it out sort of, but
That's awesome because you put your own chords to it too.
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of a unique thing that I hadn't done before, but was cool to try.
Did you play the piano, or did you click in the piano?
I played it. This right here. And this one was actually really cool because I tried like 3 different versions of this remix. Like I had one version like almost like a 3-minute thing, and then I was like, nah, I don't like that. I did another one, got it to like 2 minutes, and was like, nah, I don't like that either. And then like one day, I think it was a Saturday, I was laying in bed and I was thinking about it, and I thought of this piano thing. I was like, oh yeah, okay. And I like started thinking in my head, and I ran over to the piano and started like playing chords, and was like, okay, yeah, let me put this in here, and like recorded it, and then of course cleaned it up and got it all nice and produced and everything. So that was kind of a neat sort of story to tell. It's not always that story like, but that time it was.
Yeah, because like we asked you to do it, but I'm sure you've done remixes where you hear the original and you're like, I want to just chop this up.
Yeah,
it's probably more just playful.
Right.
Yeah, like, we need you to finish it.
We need you to work on a schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tough part, man. Is like I get all of these like remixes that I start, and I get like 3/4, 2/3 of the way through, and then I just kind of it doesn't happen. I don't ever finish it. So I'm sure you guys have similar things. We just have all these projects that are unfinished. It happens. But I guess that's one thing that is kind of interesting is because I'll be doing this stuff for periods where I'm really really into it, and then I'll get distracted with other stuff in life, and I won't come back to it for a few months, then I'll come back to it, and it's always back and forth. And
well, you finished your remix a lot faster than I finished the song. I was working on this song for years. I just had like little bits and pieces of it. So, gosh, it took a long time.
Yeah, I was gonna say like unfinished stuff can be unfinished for years, and then you can finish it in like an afternoon.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've had a few things like that where I was working on something, and then I just leave it, and I'll come back to it like years later, and just be like, oh, this is here, and it all works out.
Yeah, everything sounds better like 3 years later.
Yeah.
That's kind of the curse.
Yeah.
Right?
You make like really dancey club music. Do you ever go to clubs and party and dance, or do you ever perform at clubs?
So I performed at a club once in my life. When I was in college, I entered this like DJ competition, and the prize for winning that was you got to DJ at the side room at some club in Vancouver. So I won that competition. And I got to do like an hour and a half or something set there. So that was pretty cool. The competition itself was really exciting. I spent like hours and hours, picking the right tracks and rearranging them, and so many times, and practicing. It was something I was pretty proud of it, and it was definitely a lot of fun. All my friends were there. They were having a great time.
Is there video of your performance?
I don't know if there is. I think it's only audio, which is kind of a bummer.
Oh,
because
we can hear it.
Yeah, like part of me wants to try and go back and like see what it was like or something, but I don't have any. There's no evidence of that actual event. I just have a recording. It was funny though, because at the time I wasn't even using like turntables. I was using this little tiny dinky mixer and just my computer. It was all basically in the computer.
Is this that program, you know, with like it's like syncing tempo and you?
Yeah.
So do you ever go to clubs just to dance?
Oh yeah.
Whatever club things are.
Yeah. So it's tough because like a lot of the clubs that I've been to, a lot of times are less about the music and more about, I don't know, other things, whatever that might be.
Drinking, bottle service.
Yeah. There's been like a few times where I've really gone to a club or, you know, like even a just some kind of dance music kind of thing where it was really what I wanted. It's usually like these underground kind of things where just people who are there to like dance to the music and have a good time with that, and it's less about, you know, the other stuff. Whenever I can find those kind of events, like I try and go to those because those are usually way more fun to me, and that's actually what I, you know, really enjoy is people just grooving and having a good time.
Have you been to a club, Miles?
Yeah, I've been out
okay.
dancing, and it, like Jeff said, like it can be really good if it's really good, but you know,
Yeah.
if a club is, like you said, it's about something else, or the music is just like.
So I have another question for you.
Sure.
Have you ever played the video game DJ Hero?
No, I haven't.
Really?
I saw that and I was like, huh, that's an interesting thing, and I was curious about what it is, and then I just never looked into it. Have you guys played that?
Like you have to go.
Yeah, I think you have to go. I don't know. I've never played it, but it seems like it'd be your game. I played Guitar Hero.
It's funny because like at that point you might as well just learn to DJ. I don't know. DJing is not really
it's
that
a video
hard.
game.
It's not like a technical skill like guitar. Performance and like learning what stuff is and incorporating and being creative. It's not like you need to know how to flick. Oh, you're doing the wrong flick technique.
Well, maybe someday we need to do like a live stream DJ Hero session. What's your favorite kind of mochi?
My favorite kind of mochi? Oof. I would say just plain, no filling, like no stuff on it. Just plain mochi. If I had to pick one.
Like the kind of
It's
Putty.
just the rice stuff.
the room temperature rice putty.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Room
If I had to
temperature
pick just one.
goop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a weird
I
thing.
love
It's
it.
just like some kind of like rice flour. You know, actually, I had relatives that they would come over every New Year's and we'd make it from scratch. So I think that's probably part of the reason why I like plain, because that's like I grew up with that. I'm used to that.
Is it kind of like pasta in the sense that you're like adding flour and then like
Yeah.
mixing and pressing it, and then like you have like a.
What color
Yeah,
is
exactly.
it when it's done, when you're done making it?
It's just white.
Wow.
Rice colored.
So authentic.
Yeah. And then, you know, you can put stuff in it and change it and, you know, put ice cream and wrap it up or whatever you want to do at that point.
Nice, that's good. Well, my favorite's probably the green tea kind, the green one.
So, what's your favorite band or musician?
Favorite band? Oh.
Well, can we take a guess before you answer?
Sure.
I'm gonna say some classical person.
Beethoven.
Ooh. See, I wasn't even thinking classical when you said band. I was thinking, you know, oh my gosh, there's too many choices. I'd say like Radiohead is one of the bands that I've like consistently loved for years, and the Gorillaz are really close there as well.
They're both very like exploratory music, like always going in a new direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not always in ways that I like, but it's often, you know, it's always interesting.
What's your favorite song?
Favorite song?
It's a hard question.
Favorite song right now?
Right now? So, I'm just gonna go with, like, it's by Hippocampus. It's called Bambi, which I don't know why it's called Bambi. It doesn't have that in the song anywhere. Just lately I've been jamming to that. You know.
I want to check it out. I want to get inside your head and check out Bambi by Hippo.
Yeah. I hope you like it. One of my favorite things is just, like, browsing Spotify and just exploring all kinds, you know, just seeing what new music there is out there and finding all these gems.
That's great. We need people like you because I
We
think
do.
Pat and I are kind of the opposite. It's really quite strange. Like we play music every day, and he writes. He's written like hundreds of songs, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like on the day to day, like we don't listen to music much. Sometimes it's exhausting emotionally.
For sure.
How about silence? I like silence. Silence is great.
But like that's I don't know. I almost envy you to be able to just to be so excited about other to explore and find music. I have a hard time. I want to really like it. I don't want to sift through the other stuff, you know.
I think that's one thing that, like, one of the reasons why I got into DJing a lot is just because of that. Like, I love just, like, finding all these cool tracks and, you know, like, then it was like, oh, how can I mix these up and be creative with it and all this kind of stuff. So something that I hope when coronavirus, I don't know, when things get back to normal more, I can start DJing a little more and stuff. That'd be great.
Dude, you did a live set, didn't you? Like in your living room, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
I think I watched it after.
That's one thing is like, I'm not sure Alaska's the best place for, these kind of venues, but it's all right. At one point we had talked about, some of my friends and I back in undergrad, like trying to do a rave in an ice cave. So like finding a place where we could, I don't even know how this was gonna happen. It never materialized, but like we had these grand ideas, I did do one DJ like event for the outdoor club in undergraduate where they had this big tent set up and they brought generators and we were out like in the wilderness somewhere. And that was one of the most fun DJ events I've done. First of all, they were all there to have a good time and they were just like going crazy. And I played like all kinds of stuff. Like, I mean, mostly like dance music. I threw in some rock songs here and there and like some like oldies even. Like I was going all over the place and they were just eating it all up. They were just having a great time. They're a really great crowd. It was super, super fun. I think
Is that in Vancouver?
Yeah, about like a couple hours north somewhere off in the wilderness. I still remember like going to bed that night afterwards and just like my ears were just like ringing because I like I didn't use earplugs or anything, which is probably stupid.
What are your musical goals or your, I guess, what's your musical future look like?
So right now, that's actually something I was kind of like thinking about the other day. I'm not really sure right now because for the most part it's just been kind of something I do for fun, when I feel like it. There definitely is a certain point where it's kind of like, okay, let me think, is there something, that I'm reaching for specifically that I want? And I don't really know what that is right at this moment, but kind of formulating that and thinking about that for sure.
Like if it feels good when you do it, just like it always brings you joy.
Yeah, exactly. Up until this point, it's been pretty much just like, I've just been cruising with it. There was a time when I was like really, trying to like, see if I could be a DJ in Vancouver or something like that. And at a certain point I was like, that's not really the life I want. It's not what I'm looking for. So I kind of veered away from that.
You got a real job.
Yeah, or, a 9-to-5 kind of job, Real or not, I don't know.
Well, that's cool. That's admirable. People like you make the world go round, and people like us make a bunch of stupid noise.
Hey, if it wasn't for that stupid noise, I think a lot of people would go crazy or be really sad. So
yeah, we're doing it for you, and you're
Exactly.
doing it for the infrastructure, so the world doesn't crumble.
I mean, I think both of them, without both of them, things would be worse.
Yeah, I mean, didn't you see like President Obama put out his like playlist and everyone started listening to those songs, but you think about it, he was listening to all those songs while he was like doing stuff. Yeah, he like released his playlist. It's like, I think there's like a Marvin Gaye song and then there's like Chance the Rapper.
Other than music and work, what are some things you like to do?
Probably my two other big things are like rock climbing and video games. Those are like pretty much how I occupy most of my time. Rock climbing, video games, music, work.
Dude, we went indoor rock climbing.
Yeah, I know. Miles was shredding it up. It was his first time, I think it was his first time, right?
I remember it was fun, did a great job, it was fun, but then the next day, this muscle, because you get to grip, hurts so bad.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I want to do this more, because it hurts good.
Yeah, it feels great, and like the sense of accomplishment you get when you get to the top of a hard route or something, like, oh, there's nothing like it. It's so fun, and it's exercise too,
What kind of video games do you play?
So lately I've been playing a lot of like League of Legends with my friends from grad school and my brother and stuff like that. We've been playing some like board games because we used to play board games a lot in person, but now I've moved far away and coronavirus, so we've been playing board games on like virtual versions and stuff like this.
Virtual board games.
Yeah, which it's not as fun as being in person, but it's a good substitute. It's very rare that I play a game like just by myself. I really like love to play with people. It's pretty much exclusively how I play games. So
I play video games alone.
hey, and, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just what I like.
I mean, you can't really play Breath of the Wild socially. You play Mario 35.
Mario 35 and get pwned. Oh man, I love that game. So, what is it like living in Alaska?
Man, it's a trip. It's so weird. It's definitely still America, but it's like nowhere else in America, you know? It's wild. There's mountains just like I can look at my window, there's mountains everywhere. Just like beautiful. It's actually, you know, where I live here, it's not as cold as people might think. Like some people think like, oh, Alaska must be, you know, like negative 40 all the time, but like in Anchorage, for example, you know, like right now there's a lot of places in the US that are a lot colder. You know, I mean in the lower 48. Some things are really expensive here, like fresh fruit and vegetables. So I mean there's little things like that are different, but in a lot of ways it's pretty similar to
You're gonna have to start eating more caribou.
I've had caribou sausage, I think once, and it was awesome. Loved it.
Wow.
Well, that's great, but you're speaking to two vegetarians, so.
Yeah, I bet. So up there, probably fresh produce is more expensive.
It
And
is,
caribou, caribou is on every street corner. The caribou dogs.
They got it there and there. You know, I walked down the street, they got caribou left and right, man. It's crazy. You can find fresh produce. Like I said, it's just a lot more expensive, but it's worth it.
Have you gone out like hiking, climbing, skiing?
Yeah,
whatever the outdoor stuff.
Yeah, I went. I've been hiking a few times, mostly in the summer. I haven't been in the winter. Just not really that interested in going in the winter, to be honest. I've still never been climbing outdoors because I just don't trust it. I don't trust people to like set the routes well. And I know that's like a silly thing because like I'm sure it's just as safe statistically or whatever, but I just don't really have any interest.
When you look down and you're in an indoor place, you're like, oh, that's a big bunch of padding.
Yeah.
I can fall from like 30 feet and be fine, but like outdoor, you fall from 10 feet.
Razor sharp rocks.
Right. There's no loose rocks in a gym, you know, or...
Stay safe, wear your armor. And...
Exactly, yeah. I'll go climbing in a full suit of armor soon.
Well, when the pandemic is over, and if you're still there, I'm coming up. I'm flying.
Oh, yeah.
Tickets are really cheap. I just keep being like, COVID, wait, didn't you get your vaccine?
I did, yeah. I got the second one last Friday. Yeah.
Okay. So do tell, what symptoms? Did your arm hurt? Did you...
The first one was just like kind of mild, you know, like a little headache, a little nausea, you know, not too bad. The second one though, it was rough. And I'm glad I got it on a Friday because like that next Saturday, I was just like, I had gotten in a bar fight. I was sore all over. My arm was like pretty, like you know, I didn't want to move it much. I felt like I was hungover, like I just felt like crap. So I just hung around and watched movies and, you know, didn't do a whole lot that day.
Was that the same day you ate the caribou sausage?
It wasn't, no.
Okay, just making sure.
But the next day, it was like, right as rain. All good.
Cool.
Awesome. And now you must feel like a superhero.
It's something. I felt like, I was just happy to not feel like crap, you know?
Your body went through a training sesh, like really tough training sesh.
I mean, my immune system was just like getting a full body, you know, freaking NDX kind of.
It's like your body's just like producing so many antibodies, like,
yeah.
Antibody.
Exactly.
You're like,
just
I gotta go for a walk. Your body's like, no, sit down.
Yeah.
We're making antibodies.
Sit down, we're making antibodies.
I think me and Miles are like the last two people on Earth that are going to be eligible for our vaccines. Because we're just so isolated already, and we just go to our private rock-out room.
I mean, we're all young and healthy, but we're also in LA County, which is like the second most populous county in the country or something like that.
Right.
We'll get it.
We'll get ours.
There's so many people. Like, so many people to get this out to. It's like, I can't imagine being tasked with, hey, figure out how to get 5 million people vaccinated and like safe and effective. Like, that's crazy. I can't believe that it was in our lifetime. It still is almost, you know, unreal.
Yeah, we're part of like a huge global historical event.
Oh yeah.
That like we're all being, you know, like during the pandemic of the 20s, there wasn't global communication.
Right.
Like today, like everyone's experiencing all of this together, kind of.
Yeah. Which is kind of a nice thing in some ways, you know. Like, I guess it's a little bit related, but like I've actually been more in contact with some of my friends now than I was before. Me too. Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it's forcing everyone to reach out on your phone in any way you can.
Yeah, that's really something.
I have a couple bonus questions for you.
Bonus questions.
Bonus round. Here we go.
What's your favorite Marvel superhero?
Man, I'm gonna go with the Green Lantern.
That's DC.
Oh.
Fail.
Oh man. Stop the interview. Cut it off right. This is
what's your favorite dinosaur?
I'm gonna go with Brontosaur.
Yeah, long necks. Yeah. Three horns never play with long necks.
Yeah.
What's your favorite, like, animal?
Oh. There's a lot of cool animals out there.
There's only one best animal, though.
I'm gonna go with a panther.
Whoa!
Yeah,
That's pretty close to Miles's favorite.
they're just awesome.
I just like cats, big cats, small cats.
Oh yeah.
Imagine giving a panther the pets and knowing it's not
yeah.
gonna kill you.
Hoping it's not going to kill you.
Well, like I was watching this video of like these people who were taking care of a lion, and it was just so interesting to see like all the way it moves and everything. It's all just like a house cat, except it's just huge. But it was so well trained and so well domesticated. Like they were petting it, and I was like, oh man, that must be crazy. But also terrifying because this thing could destroy you at any moment if it decided to.
Even if it didn't want to, sometimes a cat just like jumps off your lap or kind of goes, hey! Like if it's a lion, it's like, hey, there goes your jugular.
So, DJ Mochi, how did you come up with the name Jeff?
The name Jeff?
Yes. Thank you.
We're laughing at our own joke.
My dad has a friend named Jeff, and I think he's my namesake.
Which one of you is, better?
I think he might be a little better than me. He's a pretty cool dude.
He's got nothing on you.
Hey, I think the absolute comparisons are difficult to make because we've just done different things in our lives. It's like, just crazy stuff in our lifetime, man.
We're all giant children, or me and Miles are giant children. I don't know about you, but
I'm a giant child who just like somehow like I hide who I am at work. I'm like wearing a trench coat. There's like two children inside of a trench coat, at my office.
Totally.
That's basically me.
Yeah, I always describe myself as a caged lion at work. I know at work I'm just so depressed, and my mane is slumping. And
just rein everything in for a little bit. Gotta pay the bills.
We're all actors, and the whole world is a stage, and we are merely players.
You are who you pretend to be. And then next thing you know, you're doing that, and you wish you made more money doing it, but you're doing it,
Your focus determines your reality.
I like all these quotes, man. This is all good stuff.
Yeah, let's go.
Where can people find your music, DJ Mochi?
Oh, you can find it on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, all those places.
You know what? We'll put a link in the...
Yeah, we're going to put links. They might be down here, though.
Perfect. Up, down, left, right.
Just use your critical thinking skills if you're a viewer and find it.
I miss hanging out, man. I can't wait for this pandemic to be over and I can come to Anchorage. We now have a bigger apartment, so if you come down to LA, there's a couch you can stay on.
We can jam.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much for joining us, Jeff.
I really love the remix.
Me too.
It's cool.
It's like I want to hug it and dance to it at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're all about, hugging and dancing. If you're watching a video, thanks for watching. We're SHOTTY, this is DJ Mochi. Follow us and click our links and do all that good stuff, and we love you, and there's going to be more music and more things for you. Kablam!
See you, DJ Mochi.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
See you, SHOTTY.
Is that a cat tower?
Yeah, it is.
So there's a cat.
Oh, I don't have a cat yet.
No!
I found it for free on the side of the street, and I was like, well, I'll get this in case I get a cat.